Sirach 13, whoever touches tar will get dirty, and those who associate with the arrogant will become like them. Then you are. With a metal cauldron, don't lift something that's too heavy for you, and don't associate with people who are more powerful and rich. What does a clay pot have in common? The one will knock against the other and be shattered. Rich people inflict injury, but then act as if they're the ones who have been wronged. The poor suffer injury, but they're the ones who must apologize. If you are useful to the rich, they will work with you, but if you are in need, they will abandon you. If you own anything, they will live with you. They will exhaust what you have, and they won't suffer. If they need you, they will deceive you and smile at you and give you hope. They will speak nicely to you and say, "What do you need?" They will embarrass you with their fine foods until they have cleaned you out 2 or 3 times over. In the end, they will mock you, and after these things, they will see you and abandon you and shake their heads at you. Take care that you don't go astray, and don't be humiliated by your own foolishness. When powerful people invite you, show yourself reluctant, and they will invite you all the more. Don't be forward, or you might be rejected. And don't stand far off, or you might be forgotten. Don't think that you can speak with them as an equal, and don't trust in their lengthy conversations because they will test you with a lot of talking. And when they are smiling, they are really examining you. Those who won't guard your secrets are cruel, and they won't spare you from mistreatment and imprisonment. Be on guard and pay attention because you are tiptoeing around your own downfall. All living creatures love what is like them, and all people their neighbors. All beings gather together with their own kind, and people cling to those who are like them. What does a wolf have in common with a lamb? So sinners have nothing in common with the godly. What peace is there between a hyena and a dog? And what peace is there between the rich and the poor? Wild asses in the desert are prey for lions. So the poor are feeding grounds for the rich. The arrogant detest humility, so the rich detest the poor. When rich people stumble, they are supported by friends. But when the humble fall, their own friends push them away. When the rich slip, their helpers are many. They speak things that shouldn't be spoken, and people justify them. The humble slip, and people criticize them as well. They utter something sensible, and no one pays attention. The rich speak, and everyone is silent, and what they say is praised to the heavens. The poor speak, and they say, "Who is this?" And if the poor stumble, others push them down all the more. Wealth is good as long as it's free of sin. The ungodly speak of poverty as an evil in and of itself. Happy are those who haven't slipped in their speech and who haven't been stabbed with pain for their sins. Happy are those whose spirit hasn't condemned them and who haven't given up their hope on wealth. Wealth isn't good for a mean person. What use is money to a begrudging person? Those who deny themselves collect for others, and others will live luxuriously with their goods. Those who are evil to themselves, to whom will they be good? They will never enjoy their money. There are none worse than those who begrudge themselves, and this is the payback for their wickedness. If they do good, they do it without being aware, and in the end they reveal their wickedness. The miserly are evil. They turn their face away and disregard people. Those who have greedy eyes are never satisfied with their share, and evil injustice withers their soul. Envious people are even begrudging when it comes to bread, and it's lacking on their table. My child, treat yourself well according to what you have, and bring offerings to the Lord that are worthy. Remember that death won't delay, and the decree of the grave hasn't been shown to you. Before you die, treat your friends well. According to your ability, reach out and give to them. Enjoy a good day, and don't let your share of a good desire pass you by. Won't you end up leaving behind to another what you have worked so hard for? Won't the things you have toiled for end up being divided by lot? Give, take, and distract yourself, because you can't search for luxury in the grave. All flesh grows old like a garment. The ancient decree is, you will certainly die. Like a budding leaf on a leafy tree, it sheds some and it puts forth others. So is a generation of flesh and blood. One dies and another is born. All deeds decay and cease, and those who do them will pass away with them. Seeking wisdom brings happiness. Happy are those who meditate on wisdom and who reason intelligently. Those who consider her ways in their hearts will also reflect on her secrets, pursue her like a hunter, and lie in wait by her paths. Those who peer into her windows will also listen at her doorways. Those who lodge near her house will also fasten a tent peg in her walls. They will pitch their tent close at hand and will find accommodation in a lodging place full of good things. They will put their children under her shelter and will encamp under her branches. She will shelter them from the heat, and they will dwell in her glory.
A father who loves his son will whip him often, so that he can be proud of him later. If a son is disciplined, he will be of some use, and his father can boast of him to his friends. Anyone who gives good guidance to his son cannot only take pride in him among his friends, but he can make his enemies jealous. While the father is alive, the sight of his son makes him happy, and when he dies, he has no regrets. He is not really dead, because his son is like him. He has left someone to take vengeance on his enemies and to return the favors he owes his friends. But anyone who spoils his son will have to bandage his wounds. His heart will stop every time he hears a shout. An untamed horse is going to be stubborn, and an undisciplined son is no different. If you pamper your child and play with him, he will be a disappointment and a source of grief. Laugh with him now, and one day you will have to cry over him, grinding your teeth in regret. Don't give him freedom while he is young, and don't overlook what he does wrong. Whip him while he is still a child, and make him respect your authority. If you don't, he will be stubborn and disobedient and cause you nothing but sorrow. So discipline your son and give him work to do, or else he will be an embarrassment to you. It is better to be poor, but strong and healthy, than to be rich, but in poor health. A sound, healthy body and a cheerful attitude are more valuable than gold and jewels. Nothing can make you richer or give you greater happiness than those two things. It would be better to be dead, asleep forever, than to live in the misery of chronic illness. The finest food means nothing if you are too sick to eat it. It might as well be offered to an idol, but there is no point in offering food to an idol. It can't eat it or smell it. It is just the same with someone whom the Lord has afflicted. He looks at his food and sighs, like a castrated man hugging a young woman. Don't deliberately torture yourself by giving into depression. Happiness makes for a long life and makes it worth living. Enjoy yourself and be happy. Don't worry all the time. Worrying never did anybody any good, and it has destroyed many people. It will make you old before your time. Jealousy and anger will shorten your life. A cheerful person with a good attitude will have a good appetite and enjoy his food.
Worrying about money will make you lose weight and lose sleep. Worrying about business will keep you from sleeping just as surely as a serious illness does. Rich people work hard to make a lot of money, then they can sit back and live in luxury. Poor people work hard and have nothing to show for it, and when they rest, they are still poor. No one who loves money can be judged innocent. His efforts to get rich have led him into sin. Many people have been ruined because of money, brought face to face with disaster. Money is a trap for those who are fascinated by it, a trap that every fool falls into. A person who gets rich without sinfully chasing after money is fortunate. Do you know anyone like that? If so, we will congratulate him for performing a miracle that no one else has ever been able to do. If anyone has ever passed this test, he can well be proud. Has anyone ever known that he could get away with cheating someone and not taken advantage of it? If so, he deserves his wealth, and everyone will praise him for his generosity. When you sit down at a fancy banquet, don't let your mouth hang open and don't say, "Look at all that food." It is impolite to have a greedy eye. Remember that. Nothing in creation is greedier than the eye. That is why it sheds tears so often. Don't reach out for everything you see, and don't elbow people out of the way to get at the food. Be considerate of the other people at the table and treat them the way you want to be treated. When you get your food, eat it like a human being. Don't smack and slurp. Nobody can stand that. It's good manners to be the first to stop eating. Stuffing yourself is offensive. If there are many people present, don't try to be the first to be served. A little bit is plenty for anyone with good manners. Besides, you won't be short of breath when you go to bed. People who eat too much get stomach aches and cannot sleep. If you don't overeat, you can get a good night's sleep and wake up early the next morning feeling fine. But if you do get a stomach ache from eating too much, go off and vomit, and you will feel better. My child, if you listen to what I am saying and put it into practice, one of these days you will thank me for it. Be moderate in everything you do, and you will never get sick. People appreciate a generous host, and he deserves their praise. But everybody in town will complain about a host who is stingy with food, and their complaints are justified. Don't try to prove your manhood by how much you can drink. Wine has been the ruin of many. An arrogant person's character shows through when he is in a drunken argument, in the same way that iron is tested when it is heated red hot and then dipped in water. Wine can put new life into you if you drink it in moderation. What would life be like without it? Wine was created to make us happy. If you drink it in moderation and at the right time, it can lift your spirits.